And we're live. Are we live? Is it working? Are we live? Yes, we are. It says we're live. It's probably playing some adverts or something. Can you hear me? Tell me you can hear me in the comments. Does it sound okay? What's going on? Yes, we are live. Right, it's confirmed. Perfect, Ewan. How is Mallorca? Are you over at Santa Ponza? Right, let's get the niceties out of the way. Get as many comments as we can. Get some thumbs up. Big news today, then, wasn't there? I don't know. You got to work for a couple of hours, and Kyogo signs a new deal. I did say at the weekend. I said when the Jota deal goes through, expect Celtic to come up with something to sweeten the blow, to completely sweeten the blow. And they did. They did. I think getting Kyogo. Hail, hail, Paul. Great for Ewan. You can hear me loud and clear. Right, there's 19. See, there's 19 people. No, there's 74. 74 people online. You can see Brendan playing two up front. I would love to see Brendan playing two up front. Right, get your comments in. We'll get as much comments up on the screen as possible. Obviously, the massive news today. Hi, Sean, for Fife. You're about Fife for you, Sean. Obviously, the massive news today is that Kyogo signed an extension. He signed a 4-year deal. It wasn't just an extension. He signed a brand new 4-year deal taking him to 2027, which is massive news for us. And I've been looking at some of the media down south, and obviously there's a lot of the media that were concerned with Spurs are saying that Postecoglou's lost out on his man. He's lost out on his man. He has that. Hail, hail, Tam Mac. Let's get some of the comments up. Yeah, tell me what you think about Kyogo signing this new deal. I think it's absolutely... You're fiddling with us. No danger. No way. Well, bro. Yeah, you can't. You've got to say Celtic pulled one out of the bag with that one. We're still expecting big signings to come in. Kyogo will come down. Kyogo will come go down as a club legend. He will do. I think if he even sees out 3 of these years, you know, having Kyogo for another 3 years is absolutely massive for us. And the other side of the city must be absolutely, yes, Fabian Ryder. Get him in. Hail from Gibraltar. How's Gibraltar? Great news. Let's get some of the comments in. It's one of those deals that there was always a worry that Postecoglou, and I did say in this morning's video that it was coming out that Postecoglou wasn't going to make a move for any of the Japanese boys. And was there a clause? Has Michael Nicholson played a complete blinder throughout his tenure at Celtic so far? We have, putting in the clause that even though Postecoglou was on a sort of rolling contract, we got 5 million compensation for him. Putting in the clause that he couldn't come back for any of his backroom staff it's just like, just for that one alone, putting that in. Has he also had a clause where he can't come back in the first 6 months or the first year for any player at Celtic? Was that part of the deal? Was that part of the deal that he signed when he came to Celtic? The Ange Postecoglou years were magnificent, right? They were absolutely brilliant. He came into the club at a time where we really needed somebody to grab the club by the throat, and I think it was good timing that there was complete change. Hi from Africa, South Africa. Go on yourself. It was a good time to get some change at the club, and I think. I noticed that the papers down the Scottish media are now running a story saying that the Man City number 2 took the Leicester job before he was offered the Celtic job. Our owner went out and got the one and only. It was quite something that Odin was also went to Brendan's house. Seems to me that there was a lot of stuff went on over in Mallorca at Brendan's holiday home. I think there was a lot of stuff went on there that we'll probably never get to know about, because unlike when Ange came, Ange did a sort of little documentary thing talking about his move to Celtic. I think Celtic will keep this in-house, and Brendan Rodgers will definitely keep it in-house. And it's just, I think he's definitely here for the 3 years. He's definitely looking to make his mark. The fact that he's talked Kyogo into being his main man, his main striker for the next 4 years is absolutely, Sevco must be raging at the money and keeping, I know, spending 30 million, keeping Kyogo, selling Jota for 25 million. I mean, it's like we're going into this season. It was a total anticlimax happening, and it's the same anticlimax that when Wim Jansen left all those years ago. We stopped to 10 in a row, and Wim Jansen left within 24 hours. And we were all devastated. We were completely devastated at the time. It completely took the shine off winning the league that year. And Ange Postecoglou leaving did the exact same. And I think that Brendan coming in, keeping Kyogo, all he needs to do now is keep Hatate. And Brendan's the man that cut the allocation. It is that. And this is why we have to remember. This is why there's only 750 fans at Ibrox for the foreseeable future. Brendan broke their hearts. Brendan killed them. You can't kill something twice. Anyway, let's get some comments up. Who are the two players? Well, the big news is obviously Kyogo was one of the big signings. That was obviously, there was no mention of the names. Wait till I mute this. But there was, that's the message. Wait 2 seconds. Oh my God. What she's saying. I'm not even going to look at that. She knows I'm online. She knows I'm on live. She's getting her nails done, for goodness sake. Anyway, to the comments. Let's go. You're having a laugh. That's another YouTuber. Facebook. Anyway. Cobblers fans. Right. Brilliant news. Hail. Back to this. I've just muted my phone. That's people know you're online and just come to take the mints. Anyway, Ozboy looks class. Yes. Tell me about Marco. Is Marco the man to replace Jota? I know he's a different type of player, but you have to remember the impact that Paddy Roberts had when Paddy Roberts came to Celtic a few years ago. He had just as good an impact. Obviously, I mean, Jota scored an amazing amount of goals at his time, an amazing amount of assists. Is Marco the man to take? Is he the man to take us forward? And you've got to remember, he's young as well. Ange Postecoglou did say when he was the Celtic manager, he says, if we sell players, it's our remit to sell those players and bring in someone that we think will be better and that will take us to that next level. Does Marco fit that? Australia folk, if you are on the live, there's any Australia people on the excitement for Kyogo, Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is absolutely delighted. I read the interview, the press conference, the thing that Celtic put out. And Brendan Rodgers says it's absolutely brilliant news for Celtic. And I think it's brilliant news for Rodgers because he's wanting to build a team. He's wanting to build it. You remember Lecce about it? Lecce, Milk. I'm like, what the fuck do I remember Milk for? I don't remember Milk. She's the one that's in it. Ain't no fun being a hun now. It is no fun being a hun just now. I got a row for saying that on the channel the other day. Let's get to work, boys. Let's get to work. I'm totally buzzing for the season now. It's going to be, we don't have to qualify for the Champions League. There's no silly, meaningless games that are going to, like in the Champions League, that are the qualifiers. I mean, they're not meaningless, but it's probably the most important part of our season in years gone by was done in August. Before August, July, the end of July. The most important games of our season was in July, and we don't have that this year. We don't have it at all, again, for the second year running. So who will we spend the 30 million on? How much of the money above the 30 million will Brendan Rodgers get? Will Brendan Rodgers go out and spend 40 million this summer? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Mickey Deal? Brendan's just a lucky man. Get it right up, yes. Anyway, let's get as many comments on. Bring back Paddy Roberts for Falkirk. Kyogo staying is the best possible thing. This will, yes, this will actually, I think this will be the game changer for the season. Before, why'd you call them if you don't call zombies? Zombies, I don't know, what do you call them? All right, oops, South Africa. Bill not sleeping well. Hell. He's better be turning in his bed at night thinking, Jesus, give him the war chest, and have a good crack at Europe. Look, we've said before, and even the club are pretty much saying this as well. It isn't all about, I mean, if we can get through the group stage in Europe and into the first knockout round and then down the parachute into the Europa, this is the way that we have to be thinking, and this is the mindset. It's not finishing second would be an amazing feat. You know, it would be an amazing feat. Finishing first, not a hope at that level. I think we've proved that last year. Will there be a difference in the way that we play? Trophy Dodgers. That's Tavernier, the greatest captain ever. Call them vermin. Right, let's change. Let's stop talking about them. Let's talk about who do you think that will come in. Obviously, we've still got the big man in goal, and he's got a job on his hands this year. I think Seagrass really needs a chance this year. Seagrass needs a massive chance, needs a big, massive opportunity to prove himself at the highest level. I think definitely. Bain, we've spoken about Bain, having him as backup is good, but it's crazy. Champions again for the next 3 or 4 seasons, 3 or 4 decades. I'll go for the next 3 or 4 seasons. Will Brendan, the BBC released a video of when Brendan took over at Leicester, and there was obviously the interview, they played the interview in full, where he said, look, if it was my choice, I would have stayed at Celtic for life. Now that he had his little foray into English football again, and he tried to do everything at Leicester, and he seen that the grass wasn't greener on the other side. You know, it was going to take, it is well known that he was going to take a year out of football until our owner comes along and says, right, Brendan, here's 3 million a year. Here's 30 million for the first season. Come back. And I think there's a lot of assurances that he won't be punted at the door again for the highest bidder. If nobody's going to come in for him again. I think what he did the first time at Celtic, Leicester were there at the right time. I think the Bairns number 1 T boy. What? I think we need a keeper, says Martin. I think we need a keeper also. You know, we've got the big man in there for this season. So let's get this season, and then let's see where next season takes us. You know, it was always about progress, and I think there's a lot of other positions that we need to fill first. There is, in my eyes, we need to do a holding midfield player so that we allow Calmac to go forward. We need another striker. We could do with someone that allows Kyogo. We could do with somebody like a big Sutton. You know, I don't think is the man to play in that sort of Sutton role. Imagine having a Sutton type player and Kyogo up front at the same time at times on the pitch. I think that's something that we would love to have. Would we go to a 3-5-2? I doubt it. But stuff says, hail from Luton. How do you think Ange will do? I'm not really sure. I think Ange will have it's a completely different level, obviously playing in Scotland and the leagues that he's played in before. He's going to try and play the same type of football, but when you look at what he did in the Champions League, you've then got to look how he was kind of found out. I think Spurs might get a few tankins the first couple of games, but who cares? Exactly, James. Who cares? We need another left back, says Gerard. Let's get this here. What's this one? Maybe cover for a centre back. Yeah, I think so. James Bell's glorious. Jesus. Carmack's the main man. Someone around him, and we'll go places. We definitely need someone. I think Carmack plays better when he's just a little bit forward. We need somebody like in the Paul Lambert role to sit just behind him, someone that was going to sit as a Awata that person. We might be actually sitting with the person right now. Is Tomoki Awata that person to sit there? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Who cares? It is all about Celtic. It is all about Celtic. And it's all about the fact that Celtic pulled a rabbit out of the bag. And there's basically Kyogo come out a couple of days ago and he said that he wants to do the best he can for Celtic. He had obviously signed that deal. There's no way that he came back on Friday and, you know, that deal was done and dusted on Friday and announced today. Maybe it was done that quick. Maybe it was that easy. Maybe it was that easy to work with. Maybe Brendan has already been speaking. I mean, Brendan's obviously been speaking to the players. He would have been speaking to them before they all went back to training. He would have been asking how they're feeling, what their plans are, if they're thinking about leaving, all these types of conversations that managers have. Glad Kyogo is staying. He really loves Celtic. And I think the signings are bring on Hillfield, St. Ninians, Stirling, Colt Bridge, great show, lad. Over the moon. I think we're all over the moon. I think we're all jumping for joy. The fact that Celtic, obviously, they released the Jota video late last night. Usually Celtic would do that type of thing the next morning. If there's an announcement, Celtic usually put an announcement first thing in the morning. The fact that they did do it around about 11 p.m. or whatever it was last night, I'm not sure at the time, they put that out with the knowledge that they would be putting out this morning an even better piece of news. Obviously, the Kyogo for another 4 years. Imagine the goals that he's going to score against them. Oh, geez. If you could play two forwards, Dumbelli would be the perfect fit for Kyogo. Would he? Dumbelli like to run off of the wing as well, remember? I think we really need somebody with a bit more height. Dumbelli wasn't the tallest either. I think really getting somebody in with a bit of height. Hail from Tipperary. I know it's not good. I can't go over. Well, there's been a few people that have actually posted pictures and videos of the top and saying that it's maybe a bit better looking than what it is. Rainy Northampton, says Sean. Well, Sean, it was 36 degrees today where I was working. So I'm glad that the property I was in had aircon set at 18 degrees. It was absolutely melting. Helen says, fantastic news about Kyogo. A huge statement of intent from the club. I am delighted. It's a massive statement of intent from the club. It shows that we're not going to be having a wholesale fire sale that maybe the Sevconians wished for. There was a lot of people who maybe thought that when Ange Postecoglou went, that he would take a lot of his players with him. But it's not happening. It's definitely not happening. We need to keep Rio for at least another year. I think we definitely need to keep Hatate. I think Iwata could be a major player this year. I think the club were kind of hoping, but back to the Rio comment, we really need to keep Rio. I think he will prove himself in the Champions League, but we do need to get someone else that will sit in the midfield. Hatate sits that a little bit further forward. Just heard that centre half and centre midfield deals are half done. Yep, there's a lot of speculation about it, but I'm not saying anything till we actually get a bit more clarity. Kyogo puts that top on. It sells millions. I think when we see the players, we just need to wait. There's going to be, the players are back in training this week. There's another week or so before they go to Portugal. I think they'll try and get the players in before they head to Portugal. We'll then see what happens. They'll definitely want them all in before the beginning of the season. From what I've seen in the next few weeks, big signings coming to Paradise, and we've already got players lined up. Yeah, everyone's saying that we've got the players lined up. There's names being punted about, but is it named? Look, it's happened before. We can put out as many names as we can, and then out of left field comes a name that nobody was thinking about, and that's our new signing. That's it. Let me see. Comments. Iwata will be magic this season. Right, get your comments coming in. Come on, there is 294 people on the chat. That's the guy that runs Irish band Cabaret. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, I'll be magic this season. Come on, because I'm only staying on for another couple of minutes. We need to get as many comments in as possible. Get your comment up. Let's check any Celtic news. Celtic rumours refuted in Portugal. Let me see. What's this? Celtic fans get an official first glimpse of more Adidas gear. That's on Hill 67 if you want to go see that. Anyway, this the Pep Guardiola assistant explains why he picked Leicester's manager's job over Celtic. He was never offered the Celtic manager's job. The nonsense that the media put out there, he was never offered the Celtic manager's job, right? Brendan Rodgers was the only one that was offered the job. I think we could all, oh dear. Anyway, first Glasgow derby of the season is the 1st of September. What do you think about that one? And what do you think about the fixtures? The fixtures are what they are. Do you know what I mean? There's no use moaning about them, because I think I did comment about them in the video when they were first released. I think the run-in during December is always the most important month. I think you get to December and you get through that busy period, and you basically get all the way. I think there's only the one tricky game we've got is going to be the game against them, but it's a game. It's only a game, and I think we'll beat them, because I think we're going to be. I think just have that little feeling that we are going to be unbelievable this season. I hope nobody comes in for Michael Nicholson. Good one, Colin. Yeah, I hope nobody comes in for Michael Nicholson, because he has been an absolute revelation at Celtic, and it's not often that we at Celtic give any person on the board a bit of love like that, but he has been something else. No harm. No, there won't be next year. Not next year. The Huns don't have an away game against the top 5 until November. Look, they can do whatever they want. They can try and give them any competitive advantage that they want. I don't care. It's not going to. It doesn't matter. It's penalty Rangers was going to happen again. Until they get rid of the referee, the Lanarkshire Referee Association, nothing's going to change in Scotland. Nothing will change. The shoddy handshakes, the shoddy way that our referees are brought into the game through Lanarkshire is unbelievable. And VAR, I can't wait till the first game and see how many cock-ups they're going to make with VAR again, and the length of time. It was not even started the season. Can we just have a nice pre-season first before we get enraged with the zombies? Anyway, when you sign, you made it sound Jota on the plane will be filthy rich. I think Jota love Rangers. Hey, somebody that subscribes to the channel, that's a zombie, because you have to be subscribed to be able to comment. So you're caught out, love Rangers. You actually subscribe to the channel. So the reason I know that is because I set it up so that you've got to subscribe. It's all about us. There is a zombie in the building. I'm not even going to put him up, but you would have seen him in the comments. That's actually another one that's subscribed. I know. It's amazing how many of them are subscribed, gets notifications. There's loads of them that have been blocked over the last couple of weeks, just because they can't be doing with their nonsense. They've just got such a narrow mind. It's unbelievable. How do we respond if we see Celtic get beat? How will Brendan Rodgers respond? Will we get beat? It's not a case of if we get beat. It's will we get beat? Will we go through another season unbeaten? I think that'll be the way that this team will set out. Callum McGregor, you won't remember, Cal Mack was here the first time Brendan Rodgers was here. Callum McGregor is the one rock in Celtic's piece of armoury that is, he is like the shield of steel that will tell players what to expect. When the announcement was made that Brendan was coming into the club, Cal Mack would have went onto the WhatsApp group, the players' WhatsApp group, and went, buckle up, boys, this is going to be a ride and a half. You're about to get taken to the next level. If you think Ange Postecoglou had us up here, Brendan Rodgers is going to take you to just up here. And that is just fact. Brendan's done it at a higher level before. He's done it at the higher level. He done more than what Ange Postecoglou did in his time. And let's just... I'm buzzing for this. Anyway, zombies. The zombies are on zombies. Rodgers will put some distance between us and the Huns. He definitely, he will. He obviously will. Let's grab some more. Great news for Celtic here for 6 in a row. Will Kyogo, could you imagine that? Kyogo lifting the trophy for 6 in a row. If we let's not even talk about it, it's far too early, because the last time that we started singing that song, there was some of us knew that he wouldn't be here for 10 in a row. So let's not even get carried away yet. Let's just get the first 6 under our belt, and then we could start singing. Hail from Italy. Wow, glad to see you from Italy. breathing room in the league so we can push on in Europe. I think the squad is what's going to matter this season. I think bringing players in that's going to take us to that next level in the Champions League, and to make sure that we finish at least second or third. Hopefully second to get us a little bit more money, and then we get through to the knockout stage, and then, for the knockout stage, we then parachute down into the Europa. That is still my thinking, and that'll be the club's thinking as well. It's like, just get us to that one, just get us into that next knockout stage in the Champions League, and then see where it takes us. Let's see where it takes us. Hope a few decent signings come in, but Kyogo staying is awesome. It is awesome. Everyone has been saying that. Kyogo is the new Hun scalper. Right. He's going. Now that he's here, now that he's signed the deal, the comparisons between Kyogo and the one and only, the King of Kings, will start to happen over the next season. For what he achieved at his time at Celtic, the great one. And you've got to remember, he had a chance to go to Man United for 15 million back in the day, and he turned it down, although he ended up going to Man United for absolutely nothing. But will Kyogo be the new... Will he be the new King of Kings? Will he score that many goals in his 6 seasons at Celtic? Tell me in the comments. Anyway, where's the zombie went? Or has he stopped watching? That would be true success. Hail from the Vancouver boy in West Midlands, England. We Kyogo, yeah, dancer. Right, I don't know how many thumbs up there is on the video. Get as many thumbs up as we can. Some start at the 80 mark. Hatate done now too. Yep, get Hatate done. That is one thing. That's one deal that we really need done. We need Hatate tied up. We need, if not tied up, just make sure that he stays this summer. Give him the money. You've got to remember as well, what did Brendan do the last time that was at the club? One of the first things that he did is make sure that everyone got pay rises. He came in and then he changed the pitch. Celtic brought in that fantastic pitch that there was at the time. So it was a similar pitch that they were playing on down in England. There was a lot of things. And Brendan said that at the time that he's left, there's a lot of things that they spoke about then are actually in place now. So the club are in a far better position as far as he's concerned. So it's all about him now. And I think he will show, and I know there's still a lot of fans that are saying, he shouldn't be there and whatever, but he is. He's committed. He's just made sure that Kyogo signs a deal for another 4 years. It's water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. And to the people that keep on saying that I'm a snake, show me a video where I called Brendan Rodgers a snake or whatever, because there isn't. Because this channel wasn't doing this type of video then. This channel was only doing videos of me going to games at that time. So you need to just cut it on the head, because I never said that. And there's nothing. Anyway, move on. They're always going to be haters. We need depth in the squad if we're going to compete in Europe, says Peter. Honestly, I don't think we have that yet. This is something that we spoke about last season, Peter. We all spoke about it. The manager even spoke about it. He says we need to bring. It's not going to be. It was going to be a hard transfer window for us. Ange said. He says it's the first time that we're going to have teams that are coming in for our players. Usually, the past transfer windows, we've been bringing in players. We've been building up the squad. It's all about trying to keep as many of these players as we can. Ange did say his very last press conference. He said, "Look, the fact is, some of these players may be moving on this summer. That is football. That is football. We've had one big one out the door. We said we can take 2. If 2 go, that's it. But we all agree Hatate must stay." That's a good little community, onwards and upwards. Rider in the door. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Some stats for the King after 80. He's on the same stats. So Kyogo is on the same stats as the King of Kings after 80 games. It's all at your feet now, Kyogo. Will Kyogo go on to become the legend? Could you just... Brendan is back. There's no other option. Let's get behind him, says Peter. Charles says, Mono Hoops, zombies are raging. Brilliant, we channel, mate. Thank you very much for that, Charles. Right, that's enough for this one. I think. How long have we been going? Been going for 20 minutes. Well, there we go. Bang on the 30 minutes. I usually try and do a 30-minute live just to get as many of the comments in as possible. We are all buzzing at the news. Kyogo and dreadlocks next year. No, because once he got rid of the dreadlocks, he actually played better and he actually became the player. So should Kyogo now shave his head? There's nothing wrong with shaving your head, lads. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with shaving your heads. Anyway, top wee man Kyogo, he's here for 4. That will be here for 6. He'd be here for the 6. He sits at the table. He sits at the king's right-hand side. At the moment, he does that. He does that. Right. Adios. Hasta luego. Have a great evening, Celtic fans all around the world. It has been fantastic. It has been the best news ever today that Kyogo has signed. Let's just get some more signings in this week, and then it'll be absolutely brilliant. And let's just see where the season takes us even. Lorna, you're on the last comment. Magic news today. Kyogo is our boy. Hail from Clydebank. That is it. We are done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. I shall see you on tomorrow morning's video. Have a great